Hi guys, I'm Timmons and this is my first ever YouTube video. I am so excited. I wanted to do this for so long, like literally like before 8th grade even, so the fact that I'm finally doing this is so exciting. I'm done overthinking and over planning and everything. I just want to start this channel. So my first video is going to be making 2026 punch cards. So this is kind of an idea that's been popular on TikTok, but basically people are making punch cards for their own personal goal sort of things, and you punch it off each time you do it, and you're trying to complete the card. And some people will put a reward at the end for if they complete it all, almost like a restaurant would be, like, you know, you complete the punches to get a certain item. And sometimes people just do it just for fun and just have something physical to like remind them of their goals and see their progress and stuff like that. So I want to do that, but I also saw a video by Mia's Digital Diary where she talked about not setting goals, but rather setting experiments and kind of just doing things to see how you feel and, you know, trying something new basically. And I feel like, to me, goals are kind of indefinite, and it's like, what, so you do this until you give up, or you do it for like the rest of your life? Like, that doesn't really make sense, which I know that's probably just like me overthinking it, but goals do kind of seem indefinite sometimes, and that can be a little intimidating. So I wanted to do, you know, sort of this experiment idea where you're just like trying it out to see how you feel and mixing it with the punch cards, because also that's kind of like a set amount of times that you do it, and then you can reflect on it. And with that, I wanted to also add in the element of journaling. So after each time I punch off something, I want to journal about it, and then I can look back on it and kind of see how I was feeling throughout it, and if I want to continue doing it, or if, you know, it was good to try but it doesn't work for me, stuff like that. So that's kind of what we're doing in this video, so let's get right to it. Okay, first thing is actually making the punch cards, and I started this yesterday on Canva. I just used a square template and I started designing each one, so I'm just going to keep working on that for a little bit, and I'll update y'all when I'm finished. Yesterday I filmed everything, and my microphone and my camera recorded the audio, so it echoed, and then I went to refilm it and my camera died. So off to a strong start, I suppose, but that happens. So we're learning here. I got all the cards done and I got them put on a ring. So basically what I'm going to do moving forward is each day that I complete something, I'm going to punch it off and then journal about it. So kind of decide if I feel like it's worth it to keep doing that, or if maybe it's like doesn't make a difference, or I don't really like doing it, stuff like that. So kind of just trying new things, but only giving it a certain amount of days or attempts or whatever. The first time makes me feel like it's doable, and it's also visual. Like, I'm definitely a visual person, so I think this can be a really cool concept. I already did one goal for yesterday and today, so I'll describe that and also show me journaling it and just kind of how that setup's going to work. So let's get into the cards. So there's kind of some main categories that some of these fall into, and I would say that's health and fitness, like social media, like phone time kind of stuff, and then like hobbies and kind of self-care. Also, some of these cards are kind of meant to be like sequential days, like especially the ones that are 7 is like a week straight that you're doing it, and some of them are just, you know, every once in a while. You can just pick it up whenever, and also they can overlap and everything like that. So the first one is meal prep and no eating out. I feel like this is a common goal, but also I am like gluten intolerant, so there's not even a lot of fast food I can have. And one of the main things I eat is In-N-Out, which is like super far away. Like, it's like 20 minutes away, plus like it takes forever. So it's also a time thing in addition to obviously money, eating better, stuff like that. So that's just kind of an encompassing goal. And then the next one is gluten-free week. As I mentioned, I'm gluten intolerant, but maybe I don't know how tolerant I am of gluten, because The other day I did eat some, and I know I shouldn't have, and then I felt like way worse symptoms than before. So this is kind of like the experimental one where it's like I want to see if having no gluten at all, because I'll sometimes still have like a little bit here and there. Like if it's something's like breaded or something, I'll still eat it. So I'm gonna try to do like this is a 7 day straight one of like no gluten at all, and see if I feel a difference, or if I feel like it's pretty much the same, then you know what I'm doing works. But just making sure I'm not still kind of like poisoning my body low-key. So that's that one. The next one is no soda. This is another like weird one for me because I'm actually allergic to artificial sweeteners, so I can't have diet soda. So every soda I have is like a lot of sugar, and I used to drink a lot of diet soda, then I found I was allergic. Now I can't have diet soda, so it's hard to like kick that habit. So this is also like a sequential one, like just seeing, okay, if I don't have soda, how am I feeling? Like, do I notice a difference? Like things like that, but obviously also health stuff. So that's that one. The next one is morning walks. Morning walk meaning within 2 hours after I wake up. This is the one that I actually did today and yesterday, so I have to punch today's. But yeah, I want to start going on more walks and being more active, and I work remote, so I don't really have an excuse to not be taking some walks. And I want to see how I feel doing it in the morning instead of just like whenever later in the day. Like, so I need a journal for today's also. But yesterday I actually did feel really good, and today also, like, it's nice to get it done in the morning and out of the way. So that's that one. Next one is recipes, which I also need to punch 2 of these off. I just realized I made 2 different soups today. So these don't have to be recipes I've like never tried before, like new recipes, just like 8 unique recipes. Kind of goes in with the meal prep and just making sure I'm like taking time to make food and take care of myself instead of just eating like pre-made stuff or whatever. The next one is landline your phone, which this is actually an idea I got from the Diaries of Creativity. She did a video where she landlined her phone, so like tied it to a string, and it was only like in one place. So kind of just to stop you from always having it on you, and you know, ending up doom scrolling and stuff like that. So hers was like really intense. Like she wouldn't even take it with her when she left and stuff like that. But I'm probably just gonna do it like while I'm at home landlining it. And these ones are not, you know, days in a row. It can just be like certain days I'll choose to do that. And then the next one is make your own algorithm. So this was inspired by, I'm pretty sure it was also Mia's Digital Diary who did this one, that she was talking about. Basically you set aside like playlists and stuff like that instead of just like getting on social media and like scrolling and seeing what happens. Just kind of like intentionally choosing what you want to watch that week. So I think the way I'm going to do it is on YouTube. I'm just going to make a playlist of videos I've been wanting to watch, you know, see like the YouTubers I watch regularly, put their videos on there, and just like anything I'm interested in. And then instead of just getting on there and being like, okay, what am I going to watch, or you know, even just like going on short form content social media apps, then I can be like, okay, I've been wanting to watch these videos, so I'm going to sit down and watch it, and it kind of takes the mental thought away from it, and saves you a lot of time. The next one is deleting TikTok. This can be in a row or not. Just making sure like I don't have it so I'm not on as much. I'd be curious to do it for a week straight and see how much I'm like reaching for it, because you know I've done that before. I delete apps and I end up like trying to open it a lot more than I think about. So yeah, also just, you know, rewiring our brain and making sure I can still have an attention span despite everything. Next one, we're kind of in the hobbies category now, is new albums. So this is just whenever I listen to a full album, I'll punch it off. And this is kind of inspired by, I used to have like a music journal where like every time I listened to an album I would write the date and I'd put a picture of the album and everything. And I really enjoy doing that because I would do repeats so I could look back on it and I would be like, oh, I used to listen to this album like a lot during this time, and I kind of just fell off of that. And then also I got in like a really bad music rut last year. Like I've always been like super like music focused, and last year it was just like nothing was hitting, and it was just a really weird time for me. So I want to make sure I'm listening to new music again and getting myself out of the rut. So that's what inspired that one. And then the next one is AMC Movie Pass. My partner and I both have the AMC Movie Pass, and basically what it is you pay like a monthly subscription, and you get to see up to 4 free movies a week at AMC. So I want to make sure we're actually using this because we're paying for it, and I want to be taking advantage of it. And recently it's just kind of been a lot of like, oh, I don't know if I want to see that, or, you know, whatever. We've just missed a lot of movies this year. So I want to make sure we're actually using it. And this one does have a reward. It's a popcorn combo because we never actually get like a popcorn and a drink at the movie. So that would be a nice incentive. And then next one is physical media only. There's been a lot of people saying that 2026 is going to be their year of like physical media. There's a lot of reasons that contribute to this, like streaming services are just kind of getting ridiculous with like the subscription costs keep going up, they keep adding more and more ads, like you don't actually own any of your media, like there's just been a lot of stuff around streaming services, so I feel like everyone's just getting sick of it. And my partner and I also collect a lot of physical media. We collect CDs, DVDs, VHS tapes, cassette tapes, stuff like that, so it's like we have plenty of physical media to get us by. And also there's some like DVDs we own that we've just never watched, or like we own on VHS because we like the movie but we haven't watched it on the VHS. Like it's different, so I want to make sure we're actually doing that, and you know, using our CDs and cassettes and stuff like that. So I think those will be fun. And this one also has a reward. It's a trip to movie trading company, so you know, every time I go there I'm basically like, I don't need to buy anything else, I have enough stuff. So if I actually have 5 whole days where I'm like only using it, then maybe I'll be like, okay, we can go check it out again. The next one is drum lessons. So I actually was taking drum lessons this year, and then basically it was like really far away and they kept like messing up the schedule, so I'm done going there. So I'm gonna try a different place for drum lessons. So that's kind of why I made the card, because I want to make sure, like, especially since I started doing it and then now it's like changing, I don't want to like fall off of it. So just making sure I'm getting my drum lessons in and keep going with that. The next one I called reading field trip. Basically just like going out in public somewhere to read instead of just like being at home. I really enjoy doing that, especially because it like kind of incentivizes you to like sit there and read for a while, and you know, it's fun to go to like the library or coffee shop or something. So just 5 independent reading field trips. The next one is solo dates. So these are, you know, when you just take yourself out somewhere and you actually like plan time to like spend with yourself and everything. And I used to be really good about this, and then life happened, and you know, we have 2 dogs now, so it's like usually I'll just be like, oh, I'll just stay home unless I have like specific plans. But like I used to really enjoy you know, doing specific things and like going out to new places and stuff, so I just want to prioritize that this year also. And then the last one is surprise dates, which is something for my partner and I, but we used to do this sometimes where we would be like, okay, on this day we're gonna do something, and you know, like this is the vibe, like for what to wear and stuff like that. And then we would like get there and be like, oh, this is what we planned. So it doesn't have to be anything like crazy, like even if it's just like something at home, or you know, like it's just like, oh, I got, you know, specific snacks and we're gonna watch a movie or something, or you know, like some sort of outing or whatever. Like just making sure we're planning something, because yeah, like I said, life happens, and then we just kind of fell off of that. So I want to make sure we are doing that again. So I did 12 of those, so 1 for each month, but there should be more than that, but this is just a basis. So yeah, those are the 15. We did it. This is my very first YouTube video, and I'm very excited because, like I said, I've been thinking about this for so long. And one of my kind of things I've been thinking about for 2026 is like doing the things I'm sick of like thinking of without actually doing. Like there's just some things that have been in my head for so long that I haven't actually like gone through with. So I'm like, if I'm still thinking about them, I gotta just do them at this point. So I'm very excited, and thank you for watching. You can comment if you're making any 2026 punch cards and what they're gonna be. I might make future videos where I kind of update how like the punch cards are going and like the journaling and everything, so maybe that'll come out. And yeah, subscribe if you want to be one of the first people to ever subscribe to me. So thank you for watching, and I'll come up with an outro someday. Bye.